Finding the right virtual assistants can transform your business. But with so many platforms out there, where should you actually look? Today, I'm breaking down the top places to hire a VA in 2025, and I'll give you the list of pros and cons and where I recommend you get a VA. I've sourced, hired, and trained over 100 VAs for my clients across Fortune 500 brands, Mr. Beast's producer, and other 7 to 8-figure brands. And these are my recommendations. Number 1, Upwork, the biggest freelance marketplace out there. A lot of my clients start by hiring VAs from Upwork. And here are the pros and cons. Let's start with the pros. Number 1, they have an extensive talent pool of VAs that can do all sorts of stuff from web design, bookkeeping, basically any function you're looking for, they have it. Number 2, in their platform, they have a protected payment system and detailed terms and conditions. So you are protected from VAs going ghost or actually scamming you out of your money. They also have comprehensive work tracking tools so you can see what your VAs are working on. They also have an in-depth review system where you can actually evaluate candidates before you actually hire any one of them, which is very helpful so that you don't waste any time. And they also have built-in time tracking and screenshot feature once the VAs actually get to work. But there are some cons to actually hiring a VA from Upwork. Number 1, Upwork fees, they can be a little bit high, 20% for new relationships, for example. And it can be overwhelming to sort through applications once you get 100, 200, or 300 applications for one single job. And the most detrimental con I've seen my clients do is some of the VAs say they're working for you full-time, but they're actually juggling other clients and other work that interfere or disturb the work that they should be doing for you. So please keep that in mind. But Upwork is a strong place to hire a VA just because of how their system is set up. Not only are the candidates vetted, but they also have a close control system of all workers or VAs that actually work for their users. But I will definitely recommend this if you have experience in hiring VAs or remote talent before, so you know what to look out for and make sure you don't hire the wrong people. But if you know what you're doing, Upwork is definitely a recommended place to hire a VA in 2025. Number 2, we have Fiverr. Fiverr is known for one-off jobs, so the pros is mainly if you're looking for some work to get done, but it's actually not consistent work and it's actually just one-off work, then this is the best place for it. For example, if you want someone to build out a lead list, instead of hiring a VA, you can hire someone here to build out a lead list of your ICP or ideal client profile for a one-time fee or a one-time thing, and then you get it done, right? It's very easy to compare different offerings from different freelancers. And pros, if you get lucky, if you really like a freelancer, you can actually recruit them to be your full-time VA. But let's move on to the cons because that's actually not recommended. I've seen some people do it, but it never ends well because the freelancers on Fiverr, they're more a freelancer mentality instead of like a VA or one company, I'm gonna work here, just here mentality. So I would say if you're looking for someone part-time or full-time or to be stable in your company, then I would not recommend Fiverr as a place to source your VAs in 2025. So Fiverr would go into the not recommended category. Number 3 is VA groups and communities. So there's loads of VA communities and groups now on Facebook, on Discord, and many of these social media platforms where you can actually source for free from these groups by opening up a job post. Here are the pros. 1, you get direct access to VAs that are actually actively looking for work. Number 2, you can often find VAs through personal recommendations of the group owner themselves, which is pretty handy. Number 3, you usually don't get charged any fees, and if you do get charged fees, it's really small compared to other platforms available. Now let's move into the cons. Sometimes these groups, they let just about any VA in, so the quality is not controlled at all, it's not checked, so there's less protection for you as a buyer from low quality VAs. Number 2, it requires more due diligence because they let anybody in, so you gotta do more of your homework, you gotta interview them more, provide more technical tests compared to places like Upwork where they've actually vetted the talent coming into their platform. Number 3, it can take longer to find the right match because there's so many options and loads of low quality people in the group, then it's gonna take a while to find that diamond in the rough. And number 4, payment terms need to be arranged independently and you kind of need to negotiate and you don't really know what's the best price. You just kind of wing it when it comes to getting VAs from VA groups. But again, if you know what you're doing, these places can be a gold mine for you to hire a VA. So for this reason, and if you're experienced, I would recommend VA groups and communities as a recommended place to hire a VA in 2025. Number 4, onlinejobs.ph. This is a very popular platform for hiring VAs that are especially from the Philippines. I've seen loads of agency owners hire from here, and it has been a great experience for them. So number one, the pros, you just pay a flat monthly fee to the platform to get access to these VAs by posting a job post. Number two, once you get the applicants in, you can freely contact them and also arrange payments and also arrange contract terms with them. No middleman fees except for the platform fees, of course, which is, I would say, still quite pretty reasonable. Number three, they have a large pool of part-time and full-time VA candidates. So unlike Fiverr or maybe even to an extent Upwork, they focus on people that are looking for part-time and full-time jobs instead of freelancers, which is a better option compared to trying to find a VA that already labeled themselves as a freelancer. And finally, for pros, Filipinos are known for their great English, strong work ethic, and accountability. So they are great people and a great country to hire from. Now, the cons from hiring from onlinejobs.ph, of course, you still need to negotiate yourself. You need to set up the payment terms and the contracts yourself and basically handle all the hiring process yourself. This is just a place for you to source the CVs coming in, which technically you can do on LinkedIn and any other job platforms as well. VAs are literally applying to every single job platform anyways. Number two, they're actually less structured than most major platforms. So it's not a place where, you can see step by step, okay, this is the candidate, this is how you pay them, this is the payment terms. It's more, okay, you pay the platform fees, you get the VAs, and then you take it from there. That's more of the feel when it comes to using onlinejobs.ph. And finally, you still might need to train the VAs, of course, because they have a large talent pool of VAs. They're not super vetted. The platform don't vet them. So you might need to have additional training when onboarding the VA, but again, it's still a good talent pool to source from. For this reason, again, if you have experience, onlinejobs.ph is definitely recommended. I know myself and a few other agency owners that have hired from them and have gotten really good hires from there if you know what you're doing. So for that reason, onlinejobs.ph is a recommended place to hire VAs in 2025. Now, the last place you can hire VAs are from VA agencies. So these are agencies that specialize in recruiting, training, and placing virtual assistants to your business. So let's get into the pros first. The pros, obviously, you get pre-vetted VAs that have already been sourced, hired. Even at some agencies, they've been trained before they even get placed to your company, which is very nice if you don't want to go through the hassle of hiring and firing these VAs before finding the right one eventually. Number two, VA agencies are managed service with quality control, so they usually place project managers or people that oversee the VA to make sure they're doing their job correctly, which is a very nice feature. Number three, they have backup VA support, so if your VA ever goes missing, or if he ghosts, or if he suddenly gets sick, usually these agencies will provide a temporary or permanent replacement for your VA, so your operations are never disturbed. Number four, they usually have standardized processes and reporting, so you can see, how many hours your VA worked, you can see how actually effective they work, and you can kind of have that sense of accountability from the VA because they're being watched and also being held accountable by the agency. And finally, these agencies handle all the HR and administrative tasks, so you don't need to worry about the payouts, the contracts, and everything. You just need to pay an invoice, which is very nice. Now, let's get into the cons. Of course, VA agencies are much more expensive compared to platforms where you can hire yourself, and they usually have monthly minimums, which is if you're not willing to pay the premium and you want to go through the hassle of actually hiring yourself, I recommend hiring yourself. Number two, some agencies provide limited flexibility in VA selection, meaning they will select the VAs first before handing to you, so you don't get the full range of options that you might have had if you would source and hire yourself. Number three, loads of these agencies, 99% of them, provide generic training and skill sets, which either you can train them yourself or the VAs can learn themselves, which is not really much of an added value as they say it is. Number four, sometimes they have rigid contract terms with a minimum, or they have to lock you into a certain period, which is not nice. And finally, traditional VA agencies can be slow to adapt to new technologies, new places, or talent pools to source from because they have SOPs in place and they just keep hiring from the same place with the same processes, even though, the needs for a VA skills, they keep changing. Now, inside VA agencies, usually you see the same old, but I want to introduce you to Fullfind's AI-powered virtual assistant. So this might be an ad, but I do not care because this is my channel. So with Fullfind's AI-powered VAs, you get the benefits of traditional VA agencies where we hire, source, recruit, train, but we don't just train them with generic skill sets and tools like traditional VA agencies do. We focus primarily on increasing the efficiency of our VAs that we place to our clients by training them with the latest AI tools. Calvin, what the hell does this mean? So for example, we have AI creative assistants, which are VAs that can do video editing, graphic design, and help you with all your post-production needs. We train them on how to use Sora, for example, the new AI video platform. We train them on how to use Cloud to do copywriting for the videos. We train them on how to use CapCut Pro. We train them on how to use FreePic AI. So all these AI tools to make sure they work as efficient as possible and provide the best result while still maintaining those cheap VA prices. For example, we also have AI-powered lead generation assistants. These are VAs that handle your lead gen, both inbound calls and doing outbound calls as well with AI agents, for example. That's a program we're running. They're also working with CRMs that have AI features now inside of Salesforce, HubSpot, instead of Close, inside of GHL, Go High Level. So we train our VAs to use the latest AI tools because our core promise is very simple. Instead of hiring 3 VAs to do 3 different functions, we want to place 1 VA to our clients that can perform the function of 3 VAs at the same time by leveraging AI. So if you are interested, then click the link down below for AI-powered virtual assistants by Fullfine. But in summary, traditional VA agencies or Fullfine, both are recommended, especially if you are a beginner and you've never hired a VA before. This is a good place for you to see the processes and start and hire your first VA right off the bat. So VA agencies are a recommended place to hire VAs in 2025. Have you ever worked with a VA before, or have you ever hired a VA that went wrong? Tell me your experience in the comments down below and let me know what other videos you want to see when it comes to hiring virtual assistants in 2025. My name is Calvin from Fullfine. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more VA or remote talent related content. See you.